For the second time this series, the Tigers fell victim to the bat of Nelson Cruz in the 11th. And for the third time this series, the Tigers lost a game that some may argue they should have won. Michigan fans have been waiting 20 years for this, and now the wait is down to 1 day. The Wolverines will play in the Final Four for the first time since 1993 tomorrow. And unlike that year and the year before, the 2013 Final Four banner that will go up in Chrysler Arena won't be coming down. Duke, Michigan State, Coach K, Tom Izzo. That's about all that needs to be said to get you excited for tonight's big-time game, but it won't be decided by past tournament success, rather the talent that's on the floor. And Coach Izzo knows the Blue Devils are loaded. The Tigers have been living up to expectations behind their dominating lineup. The Tigers lead the majors in batting average at 300 plus, with 6 guys hitting over 300, 2 over 400, and leading them all is Prince Fielder. As for the atmosphere inside the locker room after the game, it was unlike any other, including a dance party that featured music stars Kid Rock, Rev Run, and Bob Seger. They may not have been picked to get here when the season began, but with one more win in the inaugural Big Ten championship game, Michigan State will have secured a second straight Big Ten championship and a berth in the Rose Bowl. No guarantees that General Manager Joe Dumars, Coach Lawrence Frank, or any players outside of Andre Drummond and Greg Monroe return next season. For most of the game, Michigan State seemed destined for a second straight Big Ten championship and a trip to the Rose Bowl for the first time since 1988. But in the end, on a running into the kicker penalty, the roses that seemed so firmly in their grasp were swiped away. Yeah, that's right. Tom Izzo said it. He is a great guy, and it's a great thing he's doing and has been doing for the community of Saginaw. It was a fun way to kick off his charity week tonight. But for now, live from the Horizon Center, Evan Beach, WNEM TV5.
Great story, Evan. Thanks so much for sharing.
Golden State's on the clock with a 36 pick. Some people think he might go there, so it might be happening coming up. But right now, I'm standing by with his college teammate, Anthony Ianni. And Anthony, this has got to be an exciting night for you as well.
It really is. I mean, when Day asked me to come out here, I was really honored and to have the privilege to come out and support Day. And it's just a once-in-a-lifetime deal that we all get to be a part of, and I'm really thankful to be here tonight.
I know most prognosticators thought he would go late first round or early second. Are you surprised a little bit that he's fallen a little bit, especially some of these guys you played against? Probably you went thinking. Well, here he comes right now. Here, Jim, why don't you pan over? Here he comes right now. Apparently, he's received that phone call. He's going to the Golden State Warriors with the 36th pick. Definitely an exciting time right here. As you can see, the big smile on his face. He gets a round of applause from all his friends and family, getting some hugs. Definitely an exciting time here for Draymond. Of course, we're going to get to talk to him here in a little bit, but for now, live from the Dow Event Center at Draymond Green's draft party, Evan Beach, Fox 66. Embrace the change, embrace the challenge, and embrace creating a championship culture. That's the motto of the Central Michigan women's basketball team. And while they're doing that in the game of basketball, they're helping another young girl do the same in the game of life.
That little kid is going through changes and challenges every day, and that's what we do. And so you have to roll with the punches, if you will.
No punch could have felt greater than when Kurt and Andrea Johns were told that their 5-year-old daughter, Katie, had been diagnosed with brain cancer.
They actually got the phone call while we were driving, so that made it extremely hard to get that type of news. I mean, how do you react when your kid's right behind you?
Katie was diagnosed with pilocytic astrocytoma last July, and since there's been an outpouring of community support.
People reaching out to us to help us, and to have a community around like that is just amazing.
One of those people was CMU women's basketball senior Jessica Schroll, a Midland native who, when hearing about Katie, invited her to be an honorary member of the Chippewas.
It's something great that she gets to look forward to every day, and it keeps her chin up.
Something that can be tough when going through cancer treatment, but despite it all, Katie always seems to have an upbeat attitude.
Her demeanor is just amazing to me, just all the stuff that she goes through, and the next day, like last night, we came home from chemo, she was sick, she got up this morning, she's fine. You all right? Yep, I'm good. You ready to go to the game? Yep. It's great to see her, like how motivated she is to want to come here, be with the team, and be part of everything that they've involved her in.
And Katie really is involved, often imitating players when she dribbles around the court or drawing up plays like Coach G.
We're obviously a big part of her life, and she wants to be like us when she gets older. She told me the other day she was going to be on my team.
For now, she's the inspiration behind the team.
Every day, you know, seeing that little girl, just knowing how hard she fights, she's an inspiration to us all.
And that inspiration led CMU to its best league start in a quarter century, as the Chippewas haven't lost a game that Katie has been to.
It's a great good luck charm, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's awesome. I know I didn't notice that until someone had brought that up to us, that, you know, every game that they're winning is one that she's been to. And I think that's them wanting to fight as hard as she fights and vice versa. You know, she wants to be here just as much as they want her here.
Katie has just been a lot of fun for us to be around, and we just know we're going to help her as she fights this cancer, and she's going to be with us as we pursue this championship. And you know what? Together, we're just going to help each other. Wearing pink jerseys with Katie's name on the back of them yesterday, the Chippewas won again for her. CMU dominated Buffalo 86-51 to move to 8-2 in the MAC, their best conference start since the 1987-88 season.
Hockey is a game of sounds. But in between the whistles, horns, and checks, the most important sounds come through the communication between coaches and teammates.
One of the major details in the game, everybody needs to be talking out on the ice. Shoot it, Addy, shoot it!
But for Saginaw Spear forward Greg Such, the communication isn't often heard.
Especially with my own line mates, I tell them, like, if they're gonna try to call up a pass, I'm most likely not gonna clear them. How many we got? 7. Huh?
The same is true of instructions yelled from a coach or even an official's whistle. Greg plays the game at such a high level despite suffering from severe hearing impairment, relying on a hearing aid.
Heard about the hearing issue, obviously, and kind of wondered, like, all right, so how did he get this far?
Those same questions have followed Greg from the time he started playing hockey.
You know, there's gonna be people who be like, oh, like, you're not gonna be able to play hockey, like, you're hearing impaired, like, it won't work out for you. But that was just, that was only good for me, because I always wanted to prove people wrong.
Playing in the Ontario Hockey League and being drafted by the Buffalo Sabres, Greg has turned questions about what he can't do into belief in what he can do.
Seeing him and how well he could still see the ice with the hearing impairment was pretty amazing to see.
He's got a great awareness of what's going on around him, time of the game situations, obviously. But he's put a lot of work, obviously, throughout his whole childhood and upbringing.
That's not to say there haven't been times when Greg has faced adversity with his hearing impairment, maybe none more difficult than in a 2010 OHL playoff game.
We were in overtime, and our coach called me to go out, and then he made a last second change, sending someone else out, and I didn't know that was happening, so I went out at the same time as my teammate went out. Both got caught out on the ice, and too many men. Unfortunately, it was in overtime, and they buried on that power play.
Such a disheartening moment could have been an excuse to give in to the limitations of his hearing impairment, but instead, Greg once again showed his resiliency.
We went on to win the series in the Game 7 in Ottawa in the third period. I had the go-ahead goal, so that made me feel a lot better about the whole situation to make up for what happened in the game before.
It was a microcosm of Greg's career, one that he will not allow to be defined by a disability.
It's my dream, and I'm not going to let anybody take that away from me, whether I have a disability or not. I'm pretty stubborn that way. I know what I want, and I'm going to focus on that. And I'm not going to let anybody get in the way of that.
For Sports Extra, I'm Evan Beach.
Now, with coverage you can count on, you're watching Sports Extra.
Last week, the Detroit Lions showed just how dangerous they could be in a season-opening win over the Minnesota Vikings. Reggie Bush became the first Lion since Barry Sanders in 1990 to rush for at least 90 yards, while also tallying at least 100 receiving yards. But an injury today to Bush stalled both he and the Lions offense, despite another monster game from Calvin Johnson. The Lions looking to move to 2-0 with a win over the Cardinals in Arizona, a place the Lions haven't won in 20 years. First quarter, Lions down 3-0. Calvin Johnson had a touchdown taken away last week. He more than made up for that today. Matt Stafford over the middle to Megatron, and he shows his speed, pulling away from the secondary, 72 yards to the house. Detroit goes on top 7-3. Second quarter, Carson Palmer over the top to a wide-open Andre Ellington for the score. The Cardinals take the lead 10-7, but before the half, the Lions take it right back. Stafford to Johnson on the corner route. It was 14-10 Detroit at the half. Kelvin with 116 yards receiving and those 2 TDs. Third quarter, Lions up 14-13 now And Ndamukong Suh getting pressure on Palmer, and his pass is picked off by DeAndre Levy, who takes it back 66 yards for the pick six. Remember, Levy had a pick six last week that was called back because of Suh's low block. Lions take an 8-point lead, 21-13. Late in the game, Cardinals putting the pressure on after a Bill Bentley pass interference call gave Arizona the ball at the 1-yard line. Rashard Mendenhall reaches it across for the go-ahead score. The 2-point conversion was no good, but the Cardinals still led 25-21 with just under 2 minutes left. So the Lions looking for a game-winning drive to end the game. On 4th and 4, Stafford's throw is complete to Nate Burleson, but Tyrann Mathieu makes the huge stop short of the sticks as Arizona holds on to hand the Lions their first loss, 25-21.
It's a play we've been running with great success all game, and guy made a good play. Caught him, tackled him right as he caught it. Nate ran a great route, got separation. Guy made a good play.
We just didn't get it done on offense in that second half. We got to find ways to, convert third downs and get the ball moved and then score. When we did drive the ball, we ended up getting a field goal blocked, and that would have gone a long way to setting us up and padding our lead at that point.
Staying in the NFC North, the Bears looking to move to 2-0, hosting the Vikings, who are looking to avoid an 0-2 start. The Vikes get off to a good start in this one. Rookie Cordero Patterson taking the kick 5 yards deep in the end zone, finding a seam and going 105 yards for the touchdown. Minnesota opens up 7-0. Second quarter, game tied at 14. Christian Ponder, his throw is intercepted by Tim Jennings, and he picks up some blocks as he brings it back 44 yards for the touchdown, 21-14 Bears. Fourth quarter now, game tied again at 24. Jay Cutler throws down the right sideline. He's intercepted by Harrison Smith. The Vikings would turn that into a field goal and a 3-point lead. Minnesota led by 6 with 16 seconds left. This time, Cutler hits Marcellus Bennett for the game-winning touchdown. The Bears beat the Vikings 31-30. Pitching a 3-hit, 6-inning shutout against the New York Mets on August 24th, Max Scherzer picked up his 19th win of the season, becoming the first pitcher to do so. But since, he has yet to pick up his 20th, and in his last 2 starts, suffered back-to-back losses for the first time this season. Today, Max making his 4th attempt at becoming the major's first 20-game winner, while lowering the Tigers' magic number to clinch the division to 10. The Tigers looking to take 2 of 3 from the Royals. Bottom of the second, Alex Avila with a man on hits a 2-run home run to left, 2-0 Tigers. That gave Scherzer a lead to work with, but in the top of the 4th, Alex Gordon takes him yard to right, a solo shot to cut the lead in half at 2-1. Other than that, though, Scherzer was impressive, striking out 12 while allowing just that 1 run. But in the top of the 8th, Drew Smyly gives up the win for Max, throwing the wild pitch past Avila as Alcides Escobar scores the tying run. But in the top of the 8th, it's Avila again with another home run, this one way deep to right center, a solo shot for the go-ahead run. And in the top of the 9th, Joaquin Benoit closes it out. The Tigers win 3-2. Well, this weekend in college football was evidence that things aren't always as good or as bad as they may seem. Michigan nearly suffering a massive upset against Akron, and Michigan State's offense blowing away Youngstown State were certainly evidence of that. 1 week after beating Notre Dame in impressive fashion in front of a record crowd, the Wolverines suffered a major letdown yesterday, nearly losing to Akron, a team that has only 3 wins the last 3 years and was a 5-touchdown underdog. 4 Devin Gardner turnovers and sloppy play by the Wolverines D had the Zips in front 24-21 with 4 minutes to play. A Fitz Toussaint touchdown gave U of M the 28-24 lead, and a last-second attempt by Akron that fell incomplete allowed Michigan to survive. The voters took notice, though, dropping U of M 4 spots to 15 in the Associated Press poll.
Was it embarrassing? I think there's a lot of embarrassing things that happen when you don't do what you're supposed to do.
If any guy on this team thinks they can do anything but prepare every single week, you have to take this as your job. You came here to be a student athlete. You go to school, get your degree, you win Big Ten championships. And if we prepare like we did this week, we won't win another game.
We can't change the past. The game is over, and we won, and we're going to move forward. And like Taylor said, we're not coming out like that again.
Michigan State dominated Youngstown State 55-17, as the Spartans finally found an offense and a quarterback. Connor Cook completed 15 of 22 passes for 202 yards in a little over a half a play and became the first MSU QB to throw for 4 touchdowns since 2007. The offense piling up nearly 550 total yards, showing that the Spartans just may have a developing offense to go with their vaunted defense.
We were all smiling, happy that that we were moving forward. We talked about during the week to keep moving forward. Pound green pound is one of our big slogans. And today it proved that we can keep pounding. We can work on offense. We can be successful on offense. And as it showed in the other earlier games, we were successful on defense, and we were able to prove that today also.
I think Coach T, made the right decision. It's his call, to give me the starting job. But I mean, it's everything works out and everything happens for a reason is what I think, and I think good things are going to happen.
With the win, the Spartans make their debut in the top 25, 24th in the ESPN USA Today coaches poll. His passion for the game is why Bay City Western's Matt Costello is one of the best high school basketball players in the nation. As you could expect, his twin brother John shares the same kind of passion, just in a very different area.
Typical twins, I don't really know if there's ever a typical twin because every set is different.
Although they're twin brothers, Matt and John Costello are individually unique in more than just appearance alone.
The tool then.
Yeah, exactly. They bicker back and forth. They never let each other have a spare moment if they step out of line.
That competitive streak often drives one to try and outshine the other.
We both are extremely competitive, but we do it in 2 different ways.
John just wants to do things well, right? And Matt wants to do things well and win, right?
Yeah. They always chose to do different things and to enjoy different things.
Matt's passion is for basketball. At 6'10", he is one of the top high school players in the nation, averaging nearly 25 points, 20 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 4 assists for Bay City Western, and is a favorite to win Michigan's Mr. Basketball Award. John's passion is in music.
By the time he was an 8th grader, he was playing college freshman and sophomore music. He just puts himself into it and is a great musician.
The grandchildren of 40-year Corunna band director Lyle Brooks, music wasn't really an option for the Costello kids growing up.
Did I even ask you if they could start?
Yeah.
I did?
You asked, but it wasn't a choice.
Okay.
While Matt eventually gave up music to focus on basketball, John, an all-state lineman in football, made the difficult decision to put down the pigskin and pursue his dream as a musician.
He called me up 2 weeks before football got started and said, I need shoes and I need gloves. And so I got him all prepared. Everything was sitting on his bed. We got a phone call the Friday before and said, what do you think? Can I not go to football? And I'm like, no, your shoes are on your bed. I've already taken care of it.
When he chose music, it kind of hurt me because I saw the opportunity that he could have had playing sports.
He made a grown-up decision to pursue something he was passionate about that he will have in his life forever.
I don't think he would have played basketball if Matt wasn't there.
No, he wouldn't have.
He had other things to do, to go get ready for college, but he has said multiple times, I played basketball to play with Matt. And just in the last 2 months, Matt said, you know what, I think I'll join band again, and I can be in band to be with John. So the 2 bickering old men do end up like being with each other.
Matt, of course, is headed to Michigan State next year to play for Tom Izzo and the Spartans. John is hoping to play for someone as well, currently in the midst of trying out at various colleges throughout the state to earn a scholarship in music. Baseball is like golf, only in that you try to hit a ball with a long stick. But as some Loons players found out, it's a game that is much more difficult than it seems.
One of our guys out here in the fairway snapped somebody's club, so.
Me. Never in my life played golf, so it's my first time.
Was it your club that he broke?
Yeah.
No hard feelings on that?
No, heck no, anybody can do that.
One other similarity between baseball and golf is it's a game where you must have confidence, something many of the Loons, especially the pitchers, did not lack.
I'm gonna say I'm probably one of the best. Probably one of the best.
Best on the team, or?
Yeah, best talkers.
Best on.
Yeah, I can talk a mad game.
I am the golfer of the Loons.
All right.
The golfer of the Loons. Zach Lee thinks he's got something on me.
Pete seems to think that he's the best golfer on the team. What do you think about that?
Pete Buckenfitz?
Yeah.
We'll have to play for it. I haven't seen him play a whole lot. I saw him on the range a little bit, but I don't know.
If I'm playing a lot, I definitely think I can make a run for it.
I'll take his 5.2 signing bonus.
Take it and win it. Steal it all from him.
Pete Butkovich is probably the best. I played with him a couple times. He pretty much kills me every time.
He said he's the best.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
I'll pair up with anybody else, take on 2 other loons. Guarantee you I'd take their money.
You've been seeing him play. How is he?
He's not too bad for a baseball player.
But according to some Loons players, it isn't how you play, it's how you look.
You look good, you golf decent.
Yeah, you're golfing just fine.
Well, I guess somebody needs to tell Red Patterson that theory.
What kind of gloves are those?
Those are Rollins baseball gloves, Gold Glove Award. It's whatever.
Here's the question, Red. Does it really matter how you golf?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
Because, I'm not trying to be the best at golf.
What are you trying to be best at?
Baseball.
With the Loons at Apple Mountain, I'm Evan Beach for Sports Extra.